Welcome to the Twist Out Cancer podcast, which delves into the emotional journeys of those touched by cancer, offering a platform for survivors, caregivers, previvors, and loved ones to share their experiences. Through intimate conversations, this podcast explores the power of creativity and connection in navigating the challenges of cancer. Guests will discuss the transformative impact of Twist Out Cancer's unique programs and highlight the resilience of the human spirit. We're so happy you're here. Let's get into it.
Hello, and welcome to Twist Out Cancer's podcast featuring Brushes with Cancer Spotlights. My name is August Spree. My pronouns are she, her, and today we are talking with inspiration Delphine Gervais from Miami Gardens and artist Dominik Ambroise. Did I say that right? Ambroise?
Beautiful.
You say it so much more beautifully. From Pembroke Pines. Delphine and Dominik were matched in the 2026 Brushes with Cancer program in partnership with Adrian Arsht Performing Arts Center, which is in Miami. And this program is about to wrap up. We're very close to the end. The art exhibition will be in about a month and a half in Miami at Arsht. So we will finally get to celebrate together and view all of the art. So today on our podcast, we will talk about Delphine and Dominik's involvement with Twist Out Cancer, how they became participants, how their connection unfolded, and what you will carry with you from your experience together. So welcome, Delphine and Dominik. Thank you.
Thank you, August.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm very excited to talk with you. I've been thinking about this all week. So some folks don't know that our programming is open to caregivers as well, which is your perspective in this program, Delphine. So as the inspiration, can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a caregiver for your mother?
Thank you again, August, for having us. So you're right. Very rarely when the conversation surrounds the topic of cancer of any kind, but in the case of breast cancer, we recognize the patients, we understand what the person is going through themselves. But I've always found it difficult to find the spaces that validated what a caregiver may be experiencing themselves, because it's a journey that you're on with this person. So to be able to do this, when I got the email, I'm like, oh, this is a long shot. Let me fill it out and let's see what happens. And to get the call, and I was like, oh, wow, I got selected for this as a caregiver. I feel as if there's so much to be told from the perspective of someone who's cared for a loved one. And in my case, it was my mom, who's no longer with us. She passed in 2014, and her battle with breast cancer started in 2011, but she had had symptoms prior to. I tell people a lot that that period of time, there's a lot of haziness and blurriness, because when you are in caregiver mode, you're just functioning to work, eat, sleep, and care for this person in some fashion or other, and rinse and repeat. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a 3-year journey
Yes, it
for
was.
you.
So when we clocked the timeline, so background, Dominique and I are both of Haitian heritage. So that was the cool thing of
Yes.
being there together. I was like, yes, someone who understands the intersex of our culture, whether it's gender, migration, and everything else in between. But being as a child, an immigrant myself, and being raised in the US, insurance was not necessarily the given,
Mm,
right? So when my mom was diagnosed, she did not have health care. My mom never had health care, and I didn't have health insurance until I was an adult working in my own job. So there was quite a bit that went, unfortunately, unnoticed until it was almost too late. So by the time we found out, she had already been living with the symptoms for at least 3 to 4 years prior to.
mm.
So going into the actual official journey of caregiving was the last 3 years of her life, and seeing her just decline in different ways, but still holding on to her faith, holding on
Yeah.
to the things that she valued, was part of that too.
I just want to say thank you, because as I mentioned, sometimes people don't realize that these programs are open to caregivers as well. And that's something I relate to. I am a cancer survivor, but after my diagnosis and experience, my grandmother was diagnosed, and my grandmother raised because my mother was a teenager when she had me. So this was essentially my mother, my primary, caregiver growing up. And I feel a lot of similarity in what you're sharing because by the time she did receive that diagnosis, it was very far along. She had had some symptoms already, and her journey from diagnosis to passing on was 10 months. And you're right, that time period is just, it is such a blur. And I know that in your statement, you also mentioned that grief and processing all of that is a lifelong journey. It's not something that starts and ends in a certain way and then folds back onto itself. Sometimes you re experience or reprocess something.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's very relatable to anyone who might be listening or watching and has been alongside someone who has dealt with cancer. And that can be true whether the person is still with you or has passed on,
Mhm.
because you still grieve this experience and this painful thing that has happened. So would you be okay sharing a little bit about where you're at in that journey today?
So I think about, so disclaimer, I'm a mental health professional. So there's a whole bunch of internal things that are going on. And you know what they say, practitioners, we can be our worst patients. So there was definitely a lot of denial while my mom was living as to the severity of her illness. Things when you look back, it's like this was so obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me. It might have been obvious to my husband, to my friends, to colleagues, but it was not as obvious to me. And I think anticipatory grief was part of that experience too,
Mm,
where I was already grieving the loss of my mother while she was still with me, because who I knew her to be was not who she was at the time that I had to come along and navigate the healthcare system, advocate on her behalf. She wasn't that person. And
yeah.
anybody who's been raised by a Haitian mother, it's hard to reconcile that person with who now is as vulnerable as vulnerability can be. So
Yeah.
there was that anticipatory grief where it's like, I'm already grieving who this person is no longer, even though they're still here, but
Hmm.
not who she is. And then when there's that finality of the absence of the person in body, there's a lot that goes between because I'm an eldest child. I'm my mother's eldest child. So all the eldest daughter situations, I got
Yes.
it. And I talked a lot about that. It's like, yep, I got anointed with all of it.
Yeah.
Responsibilities that come with, honoring this person in their passing. And then it's like, now what? What do I do now? Because I've been doing this for a while. I don't know anything else but eat, sleep, eat, rinse, repeat. And of course, my husband was very supportive in that season. I have a brother, a sister, half sister who was supportive, my dad. But when you are the anointed eldest daughter and
Yeah.
the designated caregiver.
The only child,
Yes.
in case.
Yep. Yep. Or the only
Hmm.
child. There's a lot that went through that. So there was anticipatory grief,
Yeah.
the expecting of, and then there is the absence of, and now it's life without this person. And it's
Yeah.
true. There's not a day that I don't get up that I don't think of my mom, especially as I'm getting older. My
Mm,
mom passed when I was 39. I'm 51. That's a lot of time and a lot of putting pieces together of, I wonder who she was at this age. What was she
yeah.
thinking? Or, okay, now what she used to say makes way more sense because
Yeah.
that's how I'm thinking too.
Mhm.
Yeah. You are taking me to therapy right now, girl. Like when you said anticipatory grief, that just like went all the way deep into my heart because my grandmother was the pillar. Like in my memory, like she rarely got sick. She always, the way she would pack lunch for school when I was little, or like she was just this incredibly strong, you know, she came from the South and she brought all that up to the up to the North with her. And seeing her in a different light as so vulnerable, I was really in denial. Like, I don't know if you went through it, but I was in denial. I was like, no, no, no,
Mhm,
no, this is not going anywhere. Like,
mhm.
one day we'll look back and be like, "Oh, remember that time?" Like, you know, what I mean? And my kids were little, and I was just like, "No, she's gonna be here to be around my kids." You know what I mean? And it was just, I think that my version of the anticipatory grief that you're saying was a lot of denial. And I definitely regret that and not being able to be in the moment a little bit more, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
with her.
There was
So
a lot of planning, a lot of, "I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I have to make these calls, I gotta" planning, but not
mhm.
being at the moment. Yeah,
Wow.
definitely some regrets around that.
Thank you so much for sharing. I know that people who are listening who have been caregivers are going to resonate with what you've shared for sure. So, okay, before we switch over to Dominique, how did you find out about Brushes with Cancer and why did you decide to participate? I know you said you thought it was a long shot.
So I get stuff from the Arts Center. I'm a patron of the arts, of love whatever comes. I'm there.
Yeah.
So and then considering all the emails you get on a regular, so the word cancer, brushes with cancer, twist out cancer stood out. And I was like, oh, let me see what this email is about among the other
Yeah.
gazillions. So when I started digging into it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of validation here because again, caregivers do not necessarily have their space to talk. And I think about now how my mom's experience has helped me to be a better friend to
Mm,
my own friends who are going through their cancer journey. And
wow.
that caregiving is not necessarily attached to, well, this is my blood relative. It could be an in-law, it could be a friend, a church member, a
Yeah.
colleague, because the caregiving doesn't have to be tied to bloodlines.
Right. Right.
It's tied
Okay.
to our accountability to these people who we were good with them when they were in our brunch season, in our club season, in our having a good time girls trip season. But
Mhm.
this season right here, how can we show up as a caregiver? So I was like, yes, finally a way to be able to express things from our perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to interject for a second here and say to anyone who may not know what Brushes with Cancer is. I should have said that probably in the beginning, but it's a program that is about 6 months and we match people we call inspirations. So that could be caregivers, previvors, or cancer survivors. We match them with artists and they tell their story and then the artist reflects that story back to them. And what's really beautiful, I think, about it is that it gives someone a chance to trust someone else with their story and then be shown the beauty that's in it because sometimes we get stuck in our own stories, a little bit. And it's nice to have someone else's perspective. So, with that said, Dominique, our beautiful artist who was matched with Delphine a few months ago, let's talk about your journey for a moment. You are new to the Brushes with Cancer program as well, correct?
Yes, I am totally new.
Yeah. So, tell us why you
And
decided to participate and tell someone else's story.
I also receive emails from the art center
Perfect.
and I saw it also on Instagram. But I have a friend at my studio, a colleague, who told me about it. And I said, really? I saw it, but I was wondering if I can be in it because I did not know that. I thought it was from somebody who was sick only. Didn't know that it would be if I've. So I said, let me try, let me look at it. And I looked and I applied and I got accepted. So I was
Yay.
very happy because it's something totally new for me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, new to be in the program. And I can say new to that world
Mm,
where people are experiencing to be sick, to be going through so much.
mhm.
And it was like a coincidence because I have a good friend who's sick right now.
Mm,
And I think I chose to do it because of her.
wow.
Yeah, because I felt that I need to know a little more. I need to be involved to understand and support her
Mhm.
better way, you know?
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to get to that too, because I know you've got your own connection with the cancer world. But I have heard from some other artists who said, and I don't know, maybe if this is your perspective, that usually when you create art, you're creating out of your own mind, your own perspective, your own creativity, and you're kind of sharing that perspective with other folks and allowing them to have their interpretations. But this is very different because it's kind of on you to take on someone else's perspective and someone else's experience for a moment and create from that place, which is very different. So I don't know, is that something new for you, or?
Yeah, it is new. It is new. It is new with the topic.
Yes, yeah.
Because sometimes if I have a show and there is a theme, so I have to go in that direction.
Mhm.
For that, having somebody giving you a story and try to interpret it
Yeah.
and translate it into my art
Mhm.
with my paint, and it's different.
Yeah.
It's deep. For me, it's very deep,
Mm.
and I like it. So it's really a very, very good experience for me. And getting to know Delphine, listening
Yeah.
to her stories, her love for her mother, and it's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Well, in your art career, you've had some work in some really amazing places. Like, I know you mentioned the airport.
Yeah, actually, I'm at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport.
That's amazing.
I know her when I go through there
Yes,
now. I
Yes.
Terminal
Yes.
D.
Take all your pictures and be like, "That's my friend."
Yes, yes. And I'm getting ready for a new exhibit at the Sunrise Civic Center and Art Gallery.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Definitely share
yeah, on
information.
August 7th.
Share information with me. Send me an email and share information because we love
Yeah, I
seeing.
will share. I will share it with you. So
Okay.
it's going to be August 7th at
Yeah,
the Sunrise Civic Center and Art Gallery.
amazing. Okay.
Okay.
So I know Delphine mentioned that there are commonalities in your journeys. I know you mentioned a couple, but can you elaborate a little bit on the things that you were surprised to find that you had in common?
In common, we can say about our culture, about how we keep this word. If you sick, you can't talk
Mm,
and you can't let people know. And it's like, and then in the meantime, you're trying to hide and it's getting worse. So I think this is something that I don't know if it's new because we were raised without that. So it's kind of new to hear people are getting sick all the time with this in our community. We don't believe, if we can say it, if I can say it like that.
mhm.
Delphine,
Mhm,
people don't, when somebody is sick, they just cannot accept it,
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
There's a challenge with
So
their ability, especially when there's like this whole trope and mantra around our culture and, oh, they're resilient people. And so that whole believing your own press of,
Mhm,
well, because I'm a resilient group of people or as a woman or as
mhm.
whatever, that we're not supposed to acknowledge illness or ask for
exactly.
help. I think Dominique and I, we find that it's actually contradictory because
Mhm.
we believe in community, we believe in supporting one another, but I think we have conditions around that. Like only if I'm well, because if I'm not well, then
Mhm.
I can't ask for help. I should be in a
Yeah,
better position to do so.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, like, why are y'all just taking me to church here? It's amazing. That's so true. Okay, I wanna circle back. I wanna put a pin in the resilience word because I definitely had made a note that I wanted to tap into that. But before that, I wanted to ask both of you. I hear very often when people come into the program that they might have had an expectation, thought about, oh, thinking it'll go a certain way, and then something surprises them. something unexpected might come up, or, but whether it's a self-realization or some kind of connection, like I know your cultural connection is really amazing. And thank you for trusting me to match you. um,
Thank you for matching us.
but did
Very good
anything,
choice.
oh yeah, I'm so happy. Did anything come up for either of you that was unexpected, that really surprised you during the program, like while you were sharing and connecting?
That we are both from Haiti. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I saw the name. I said, we have Gervais in Haiti.
Yeah,
Maybe she's from Haiti.
I love it.
So I was pleased to see that too.
Yeah. Well, that's plenty.
And yeah,
But
yeah. I think the experience is it's just wonderful. It's
So
wonderful.
Dominique won't say it. I felt like that first time that we connected, it was on a Friday, real casual. She invited me to her studio and all her lovely artwork, this house there, and just being able to see the different mediums that she used. So I'm not accustomed in the Haitian culture, ain't nobody going to tell their parents, I want to become an artist.
yeah.
So to meet a woman who, and she's not going to share, but to meet a woman who has done other things and other vocations, who just woke up one day later on in life and said, I want to follow my passion and go into arts. It's like, I have a niece right now who wants to go into the art world, and I'm encouraged to show her a woman who has done it and has done it as part of multiple iterations of her. So I think for me, it was being able to see somebody in flesh and blood, not just a dead artist in a book. Because
Yeah.
this is a Haitian artist. Oh, Black artist. Like, she's alive and she's thriving in the work. So I think that was the unexpected for me, to be able to see Dominique living out her dreams as a creative and doing it unapologetically. That for me, as someone who sees her as creating a blueprint for me, that I
Yeah.
could have a different iteration of myself in my life.
Mm.
So I
Wow.
appreciate that.
Just out here
And
inspiring
the
everyone.
bond we found between us also. The first day we met and we had tears, both of us,
Yeah.
right? By sharing our stories, it was really
Hmm.
something.
Dominique is a very good listener. So I process this stuff as part of my faith,
Yeah.
with friends, in therapy, but to sit with a creative who I think are therapists themselves, because now they're able, I know, and that's why I don't want to see the final work until the day of. So if
Yeah.
I got to wear some major waterproof mascara that day, 'cause I was like, I don't want to see it. And I have several boxes of my mother's personal effects. And I handed over a box to her. And I said, whatever you find in here to honor my mom, I'm going to trust you with it. The only thing
Yes.
that she came back, because my mom used to do embroidery. My mom was an artist herself. She used to sew my clothes. Hated that, because who was wearing clothes that were sewn in 1980s, 90s, Miami, or any period of time? Like,
No,
nobody wanted.
same. My grandma made all my clothes, and I was so embarrassed because, yeah, it was
Yeah,
the 80s. But now I'm like, that was actually brilliant.
listen,
Wow,
you
me
say
too. My mom
my
was
clothes.
the same thing.
And people are looking like, really? That's a thing now. But I gave her a box of my mom's things. And the only thing she came back is she's like, are you sure? Because my mom created a tablecloth with like the fine details that are like cut out.
Hmm.
And I was like, no, don't use that, because that's heirloom status. But I entrusted her with this box, and I said, dude, I'm trusting you with this. It was the first time I've taken it out in years. And she's the first person that I have handed over my mother's personal effects, because it was my mother's been gone for 12 years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This box has sat here with things that I was like, I'm gonna do something with it. I'm gonna do. Nothing has
Right.
ever happened. But
Right.
it was such a time
It
as
was waiting for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like honestly bringing me to tears. And I love this because I think when we lose folks, that's very common, that you have things tucked away that you're keeping, but it's not necessarily there in your space, or you know what I mean? It's not like an active space to honor them, but you're keeping it because you don't want to, get rid of these things. And
Like to keep a part of the person with you.
yeah, and this is such a beautiful way to think of incorporating your mother into this experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything about the piece. I've only seen this photo. I haven't seen it in person. So the opening night of the exhibition will be on September 24th at Arsht in Miami. It will be up until the whole exhibition will be up until October 26th. And it will be
Wonderful.
free and open to the public. So even folks who are listening, if you haven't been able to, or if you're not able to join us on the opening night, you definitely can go and see the piece and the whole collection of stories along with this particular piece. I will just say, oh my gosh, I don't want to give anything away, but I will say that I really was touched by how Dominique, you made it a piece about Delphine as a whole, not just, as a whole human being. And this is where I wanted to kind of touch back on resilience, because I think that's a word that is common in this community in general, but also with both of you in sharing about your experience in your statements that you submitted that will go alongside of the piece. And I think that this is such a powerful representation of resilience and womanhood. And, we go through things and we keep on going, right? And resilience isn't something you can buy or take a course on.
Yeah.
Life presents opportunities for you to learn it. And if you're wise, you do learn it and you carry it with you into the next thing that comes along. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to say that because that was a word that really caught my heart in reading what both of you wrote. And I just wanted to say that to both of you, like, thank you for being such examples of resilience, really. And I know that
Thank you.
like Delphine, like you said, that can be a weighted word and it can become restrictive, when the expectation is that keeps you from community or leaning on one another or, admitting what you need. But when I say resilience, I really include community in that. I think that's
Yes.
why
Very important.
that's why I do this. Like being able to
Mhm.
match folks up and have these unexpected connections. Who knows if the two of you would have met outside of this, perhaps,
Okay.
but perhaps not. And so now you have one more person in your,
Yeah, in our life.
Yeah.
to add to that support. So
Exactly.
thank you for sharing. Dominique, is there anything about the piece or creating it that you feel comfortable sharing without giving anything away?
I was enjoying while I was creating that piece. I enjoy every part, every texture I added, every color I put, and I had a mother in my mind, and I was at peace
Mm.
while I was creating it. Oh, yes, it's beautiful.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see it in just a few weeks, maybe like 8 weeks or so, something like that.
3 weeks, yeah.
And being able to, and being able to hug both of you, if you'll allow me.
Us too.
I'm really looking forward to seeing both of you.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I think about other people who may be on the fence about doing something like this. I was sitting somewhere on my phone and I literally completed it on my phone and sent it off. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the process, because people like August and the entire team at Twist Out for Cancer, I think it's a worthwhile journey for sure.
Yes. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you again for having us.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
It
thank you.
is such an honor to be able to hold space for these stories, your stories, and others that come in and be able to. I feel like I'm honoring my grandmother, and my own experience by contributing to the cancer community in this way and being able to connect
And I
people.
want to congratulate you because this is awesome what you're doing. This is a very good program and it supports the community, the artists. I think it's very good.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you were able to participate, and I can't wait to celebrate with you soon.
Yes.
And
Can't wait to.
to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Twist Out Cancer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, and we'll see you next time.